Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to this week's Pinball FX tournament video. So as some of you probably already know, the server was reset and so the tournaments are not showing. They did warn us about this a week ago. So they did give us, fair warning, but I didn't think it was going to affect our tournament. But that's okay because we'll still talk about the Bride of PinBot table, and I still have video showing like the top 8. I think there was about 11 people in the tournament, so my apologies if I don't read all the names because it's not here for me to look at. But we'll talk a little bit about the Bride of PinBot table, and then we're going to do something a little different this week. So I know we've been finishing up the Williams tables, but I did want to kind of change up the pattern and play a Gloomhaven table, a one-ball challenge on Gloomhaven. It's a table that I haven't really explored myself, but I've wanted to do so. It came out last year, and I think the last time I really played it was when I made that video, and I've probably played a few tournaments from other people hosting it. But I think it's good to do because I think patterns can kind of, get to you after a while. Like when you play a lot of Williams tables week after week, you just kind of forget that there's a whole library of tables out there. Just on Pinball FX alone, you have what, 100, how many tables? 130 tables, right? And so the Williams is like a small, part of Pinball FX, but I think it's good to kind of change up the monotony after a while and play something different, right? So we'll play Gloomhaven this week. I didn't really put up a vote just because of the servers resetting. Everything's kind of a mess in that sense. But it'll be an open challenge and unlimited attempts. So there's a lot, going for it. But my apologies again if you were expecting a Williams, because I know that we've been finishing up the Williams. We'll go back to Williams after Gloomhaven, but I just wanted to kind of change things up, keep things fresh, because sometimes by doing the same thing week in and week out, things can get stale. And it's not anything against the tables. I love Williams tables, but I think it's good to change up patterns sometimes, right? So let's talk a little bit now about Bride of PinBot. I think Bride of PinBot is one of the tables that just stands out to me because of its theme of the characterization of the machine herself, right? And her voice, the use of speech. The person who voiced the Bride of PinBot was Stephanie Rodgers, and she is a talented songwriter and singer. I'm not really familiar with what she does outside of pinball, but it reminds me of another great voice actress who worked for Williams, Suzanne Ciani, who voiced the female robot in Xenon Pinball from 1980. So, voice and speech in pinball is something that for a while was unheard of, right? Mostly in pinball, from EMs to early solid states, you just had noise, right? You had the sounds, the solenoids, the mechanics, the bumpers. There would be music playing in the background, but speech was relatively new. Even in 1991, not many tables had speech, but I think what makes Bride of PinBot interesting is that character, right? And it's got an interesting setup from the table design itself. I mean, it has the mini-playfield up top where you have a pachinko styled, with the little pegs when you make that shot up the left ramp. It's also got an interesting skill shot. The ball can come back and return to the plunger lane from that right loop, right? But I think probably the biggest thing about this table is probably the way that the playfield, the mini playfield rotates as the robot changes and transforms into a human, right? So you lock balls up the left ramp, which is like the main shot of the game, and you lock balls for her eyes and her mouth, and you activate her voice, and then she, transforms into a human, right? And so that's pretty much like the thing about this table that I think a lot of people know that makes it unique, right? It's a rotating mini playfield. And you don't even see that a lot, right? How many tables can you think of on the top of your head that have these rotating mini playfields, right? I mean, all I can think about right now is probably Lights, Camera, Action by Gottlieb has that rotating playfield, but not many do, right? So that's what makes it unique as well. It was also one of it was actually Williams' last alphanumeric game. So pretty late, because by this time, 1991, 1992, dot matrix displays were becoming the new technology, right? I think Checkpoint was actually the first DMD from Data East that released in 91. Then you had T2. But very late kind of alphanumeric display. Something that I found interesting through the Pinside website was that it says here that the designer of this table, John Trudeau, he was given the name Dr. Flash during this game's development because he also worked with Python Angelo. And so they were doing this game, they were developing Bride of PinBot and Bugs Bunny's Birthday Ball at the same time. And they were working on both tables really fast within a short period of time. So Python called John Trudeau, nicknamed him Dr. Flash. So that was pretty interesting. Little factoid there. But I think one of the biggest things that I think hurts this table in a way is kind of the emphasis of that 1 billion point shot, right? So anytime you play this table, you're always going to be trying to get that 1 billion points, right? Because if you don't get that 1 billion point shot from the big wheel, it's hard to do, to score high on this table, right? And I think that's what kind of hurts this table, because it almost forces you to play that way. I mean, you can play any way you want, especially if you don't care about score, but, it kind of really like pushes the player to get that 1 billion shot, which is doable. I mean, it's not impossible to get, but it's not that easy, especially for a one ball challenge like we had here. The 1 billion shot is just, I feel like it's a cool concept, but the scoring on this table is just so different that, it's like if you don't get that 1 billion, if you're not part of the billionaires club, it almost feels like, you're not making, you're not doing anything on the table. I mean, there's the small wheel award, right, where you can get time jackpot, you can get extra ball. You have skill shots that, but for the most part, it's the same shot up the left ramp, right? And then it comes down to, can you make that middle heart ramp shot within, I think, 12 seconds to get the 1 billion. There's also a timed, I think it is, they call it the backdoor billion, where you can also get a billion another way. And I'm not sure exactly how it works, but you have to get consecutive loops through the heartbeat ramp, I think. Someone can, let me know in the comments exactly what to do. But I think Java and a few other people were trying to do it. I know that Krabs got 2 billion on this tournament, so he came in first place. So I know he told me somewhere about how he got that other 1 billion, but I forgot. But it is possible to get, multiple billions. And I think there's a max. I think the max is like 8 billion or something. Like, you can only get the billion like shot 8 times. I'm not sure though. But yeah, I think the billionaire club shot kind of breaks the table. Just kind of, reduces it, to that one shot, which I don't particularly like. But I still think it's a cool table. I mean, with regards to other things, that it's still a fun table to play. But I just think it kind of gets, anytime you think about Bride of PinBot, you're going to be thinking about that billionaire club shot. Let's see here. Anything else that I read in the wiki that's interesting? As you know, the Bride of PinBot is part of a 3 table series. You got the first PinBot from 86, right? And then you have the Bride of PinBot from 91. And then you have, was it Jackbot? Let me see here, Jackbot. Yeah, you have Jackbot Pinball from 1995. So Williams has been known to do this. They did it with the other trio where you had Comet, Hurricane, and Cyclone, right? Comet, Cyclone, and then Hurricane. That's the right order. So it's a neat table in that sense that it's part of a trio, kind of like movies that have 3 movies in a franchise, like a saga. I never played this table in real life. I was about to, never got to do it, but I think it's a fun table. It's to play this table in real life would be definitely something special. So if you've played it, I'm sure you can attest to how special it is. Just a really cool table. Even the artwork on the machine itself looks really nice. I'm just looking at some pictures here. Yeah, so that's it for this week with the Bride of PinBot. Again, apologies for the inconvenience we had, but the servers were reset. And just go and let's play. Let's create this tournament for Gloomhaven. It's on Game Night Pinball. We're going to do public. We're going to do a 1 ball, realistic, unlimited attempts, 6 days. So hopefully you guys, everything works out here. The tournaments, no more server resets. And let's go. And let me look at the tournament ID here. So it's, they got longer. Looks like the hashtags for the tournaments are a lot are longer. So it's right here. I'll write it down in the description, but let's go here. All right, launch the ball. Shoot the bottom hole for a skill shot. Okay, it's an easy skill shot. It's right there. It's lighting up. There we go. 1 million. Oops, ball save. I just like the way this table looks. Like, reminds me of like Hearthstone. I think that's why I've never played Gloomhaven either, but I know it's on Steam. Looks kind of like a RPG fantasy game. I kind of get World of Warcraft vibes a little bit. I think it's a tabletop game too, like turn-based strategy. Okay, so if I hit that, that's a kickback. Cool. Ooh. And remember too that these tables have realistic physics, right? In the last update, before they had their own, I think, Zen physics, but now you've got realistic, so they do feel like you're playing Williams tables. Okay, main mode. Okay, Inox Encampment, Necromancer's Sanctum, Nightmare Peak. Okay, it shows difficulty, so let's go to easy. This one is the easiest one. Okay. Take damage less than 5 times. Oh, choose a battle goal. Okay. Complete. Okay, maybe this one. Okay. Oh no! Oh my gosh! I was just trying to settle the ball to read. That's okay. I'll definitely be playing more as the week goes on. But I hope you guys enjoy. And yeah, let's have fun with a different table. Till next time.